Hi friends, today I am giving a presentation on Openrefine business software, which is a free, open source and powerful tool to work with messy data. Actually, which is a desktop application and which needs Java runtime environment needs to be installed in our system. The software runs on localhost, so we have no need to worry about our sensitive data while cleaning up the data. The tool can be used in different ways, like to clean up the data augmentation, that is changing the data from one format to another format, and the data reconciliation, that is where we are going to create the new data based on the existing data. Let's take an example for data reconciliation. Let's consider a file which contains movie names and those ratings. Let's upload that file into Openrefine. By clicking next, it will show the preview, and by clicking on create project, it will create the project. Now the file contains only the movie names and the ratings. Suppose if you want to know the when the movie got released and the director of the movie and the actor or the URL for this movie, this will be done by reconciliation feature which is provided by Openrefine. Let's start with here. By clicking on start reconciling, it will prompt for default options. By clicking on free base reconciliation service, it will take some time to get the data from the free base website. Here we know that the column has movie names. By clicking on that film and click on start reconciliation, here we can see there is reconciliation cells in columns films to type of film. 0% complete. It's 90% complete as of now. After reconciliation, here we can see the Dark Knight. There are 4 links with the same name. If you clicking on that link, here we can see directed by, rating and runtime and the description about the movie. If you know that this is the movie which we want, by clicking on this cell, the movie name is linked to here. In the same way we can do that for all the names. Now the entire data is reconciled. If you click on the Dark Knight link, it will redirect to freebase.com and the corresponding movie name. The movie name is the Terminator, and this is about the movie description, and any information about the movie is listed here. In the same way, we can click on any link. Now we can fetch some extra details from Freebase by invoking the command add columns from Freebase. Now let's add some columns like directed by, initial release date, and finally Netflix ID. On the right hand side we can see the preview. By clicking on OK, those details will come from Freebase, and now we can see here. In this way, Google Refine will help us by creating the new data based on the existing data. Suppose if you consider the data of library system, which contains lots of rows about journals and books present in the library. Suppose if you observe database or package column here, there are different values in it. Let's consider anthrosource. Anthrosource here is one format and the same value it has but without space, and probably S also means the anthrosource. If you consider T&F online would also be same as Taylor and Francis online. This data is some inconsistent and messy. The data has to be refined before it's useful. That's where Google Refine comes in. It's a free, powerful tool for working with messy data. Let's clean the data by using Google Refine. By clicking on next, it will upload the same data into Google Refine and provide as preview. You can create a project by clicking on create project. We know that the column database or package name has inconsistent data, and to solve this issue, Google Refine provides a feature called Facet. By clicking on text Facet, it will perform grouping based on the values present in those cells. Suppose if you observe, there are 60 groups present in this. By clicking on the group name, it will filter out the data on the right hand side. You can observe only those. And there are two options available for sorting. You can sort based on the count, or you can sort based on the name. If you observe here, World Bank eLibrary package has 2871 rows. If you observe here, there are 5 groups, namely Anthrosaurs, Anthrosaurs and Anthrosaurs. All are same, but there is a space in between those two rows. Google Refine also provides us edit option. By removing this space, it will be added to this group. Here there are 2 groups look like same. If you edit here this one, and here there is a white space at the last. If you remove that white space, it will also add it to the Anthrosaurs group. And AS also to be the same as Anthrosaurs. So by editing this one, the same as Anthrosaurs. So by editing this one, now it is also contained. Now it also present in this. In fact, if you suspect there are some white spaces in other groups, we could apply a trimming transformation on whole column to fix the problem. Edit cells and common transforms, trim leading and trailing white spaces. Before this, there are 57 groups are present. After trimming transformation, it's down by 3 groups. Now only 54 groups. Google Refine also provides clustering feature. If you want to group some groups, then clustering feature will help us. By clicking on this clustering feature, it will verify which groups are needs to be combined. It will display all the groups which needs to be combined. By selecting here and by clicking on merge selected and close, those 2 groups will be combined into a new group, and total choices are reduced by 1. In the same way, Google Refine provides different features like facets and transformations and transpose options, sort everything to clean the messy data and to avoid the inconsistent data which is present in the columns. Actually, we are dealing with huge amount of data in Google Refine. Suppose if you made a mistake, then how to identify that one? Google Refine provides history of all the transactions which we have done. Suppose if you click on undo or redo here, there are 5 operations which we have done on this data set. By clicking on this option, it will undo our changes. Suppose if you click it again, it will redo our changes. In this way, there is no need to worry if you make a mistakes also. We can undo all the operations. Till now we use Google Refine to work with messy data, but the data doesn't have to be messy in order to work with Google Refine. It might just not be in the form that you want, and using Google Refine you can quickly transform into required format. For example, if you consider winners and nominees of Filmfare Awards for Best Actress for the last 50 years. Here it is showing a list of all the actors. But if you need the same result in the table, then Google Refine will help us to do this transformation very quickly. Let's load this entire data into Google Refine to change the format of this to be table. Click on Edit option here and copy this entire wiki notes into the notepad and save it like actress and load this project into the Refine. Create project, choose files and click on next button. We need each row in one separate line, and here parse every one line into one row, and there is no need of column names and no need to split the entire row into cells. By clicking on create project, it will create the project. Now we need to transform the entire data into table format. For that, Google Refine provides us some transformation operations. If you observe carefully, each year is starting with 3 equal signs. By clicking on text filter, it will filter the data which matches the given criteria, and you can remove all these rows, and you can clear up the filter to get the entire data. If you observe wiki text, the actress name, movie name and character name are in bold letters. We need to separate in different format, like we can display them in columns. For that, we have to observe there are 3 single quotations preceding with actress name and movie name and character name. We just need to replace them with empty string. For that, there is an option in transform. Here we can write regular expression to remove those spaces. Whenever it finds 3 single quotes, it will just replace with empty. Before clicking on OK, you can see the preview here, and this affects 68 rows overall in that column. Here these all are winners and these are nominees selected for the year. Those are just sublist followed by the winner. We can observe all the nominees are preceding with 2 stars. We have to identify who is winner and who is nominee. For that, edit cell, edit column and add column based on this column. If you write expression like value that starts with of 2 stars, and create a new column name as is winner. By clicking on OK, it will create a new column, and if you observe here, all first 3 rows having the winners and the next 2 rows are just nominees selected for 1056, and for those value of the winner column is false. Now we need to transform the text for all the winners. By here, facet, text facet, if you click on true, it will list out all the winners. It could be better if you separate all these years into a separate column. For that, create a new column based on this column value. Value from index 1 to 6 will list out all the years and given column name as year. By click on OK, it will grab all the years. Once we get the years into separate column, then no need of years to be here. Then we can remove those years from that column by applying substring method. And if you observe here, there are 63 cells affected and there is no year for even for winners. Now click on false column to get the nominees details. Here there is no year preceding with these values. So if you remove these 2 stars, that will be fine. Just remove those 2 spaces first. and by clicking on OK, it will show all the nominees details. If you observe here, there is no value for nominees under the year column. In order to fill that one, Openrefine has provided a fill down option. Now, even for nominees also, there is a value in the year column. If you observe here, now each row contains hero actress name, movie name and character name. In order to split this one, we can use the option split into several columns. Mention the separator as space hyphen space and split into two columns. By clicking on OK, it will split into two columns. And apply the same operation for this column. Now the separator as space and split into two columns. Now there are three columns. The first column contains all the actors' names, second column contains movie names, and third column lists out characters in that movie. Finally, we rename this column as actress. And this column as movie. And this one as character. In order to identify who is winner and who is nominee, we have to add winner keyword to the actor's name by performing some transformation operation. First, it will identify the value of the is winner column. If that is true, it will append the winner keyword to those cells. If that is false, then it will remain the value to be same. By clicking on OK, you can identify here Meena Kumari as winner and Geeta Bali as just nominee. Now the entire list is converted into table format. Suppose if we need this to be generated as a wiki text, then we have an option for exporting. By clicking on template, by default templating exports provides a template that generates JSON object, but we need to make some changes to generate wiki text. By clicking on export option here, it will generate a file which contains all the information of the actors and nominees for the last 15 years. Copy paste that information into the wiki so that we can able to see all the information in the table format. And click on preview button, and now we can see the preview of best actors in the table format. In this way, we can convert data from one format to another form. We can use Openrefine for sensitive data as well, because we are not going to upload our own data into the cloud or network. It's just a desktop application. So Openrefine is not only for cleaning up messy data and transforming data from one format to another format. It also for enriching data, making it less ambiguous and more precise.